Hey everyone, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. It's been a few days. It's been kind of crazy. We had a big ice storm here and everything was covered in, I don't know, like this much ice. It was wild. So the offices were closed. Yesterday I had like unexpected things going on and meetings getting moved around, and so I just didn't really have, I wasn't confident that I would have enough time to stream. So today I'm going to catch you up with some of the things that I've been doing, some pull requests, and then we're going to work a little bit on the layout for the homepage. So to understand why I'm doing this, let me tell you what's been happening. So let me trying to start from the beginning here. Okay, so some people higher up in the university that I work for have decided that they don't want the website to go live by the end of this month, which is what we were shooting for. We'll see if that stands. From what I understand, I wasn't involved in any of these meetings, but from what I understand, I think that there's a misunderstanding here about what this website kind of redesign and development is involving, and I think there's a fear that it's going to be such a big change that prospective students are going to be confused. So now I'm going to have meetings with different groups of people within the university, some different people, higher up in the university, and I'm going to demo this website to them, show them what we're doing, explain it. My hope is that after people see how far along this is and what we're actually doing, then they'll be okay with us launching. Now, if we have to push back the launch date, we have to, but it's going to cost, the university some extra money to renew the contract for the old website's content management system, so I'd rather not push it back if it's unnecessary. If the reason we push it back is simply because, there's a misunderstanding, then that's, even if it's not that much money, it's still a waste. It's a waste of money. So I'm going to do what I can in terms of the meetings, but that changes the plan a little bit for how we develop this. So the plan right now is get the homepage looking as good as possible and as functional as possible right away, like within the next few days. Well, today and then the next few days of next week, so like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have to present it to the first group on Thursday, so that just leaves us a few days. And then also, we want to get as many interior pages as we can looking good so I can demo things. So here's what I've been doing to make that happen. Let me switch over so I can show you on my screen. So we have, this is kind of small. I wonder if I can't really zoom in. Let me take this out of the mobile view so that I can just make it bigger. Of course, we're still doing kind of a mobile-first development. But, so this is one of the things that I've added. I know that one of the people who is really concerned, probably the main person that is really concerned about the launch date and wants to delay it, is also probably going to be looking for this type of thing, these student profiles. So I brought over some student profiles, and I've made sure that the images come through and that some videos come through. So this is really basic. We're going to have to do some styling on this kind of thing. I don't like that look. But overall, it came through okay. I'll show you what I had to do some stuff to get these to come through all right, and I'll show you more about that. But then also these links on the side, I've been adding in the URLs. So these will now actually link to the right places. assuming that we have the correct data. So let me see. All right, cool. So that one did work. These are links, and they also use the Next link prefetch. So Next has a link component built in, and then we can add prefetch. So that should make the transition between pages extra fast. That's another feature I want to really show off, is how fast this website is compared to the old one. It's going to be fast compared to any website, but especially compared to the old one. I think that's a huge selling point. And maybe I'm going to bring in some statistics on the likely number of prospective students that are actually leaving our current site before it even loads, because the load times are so terrible, and how many more students we would have if we switch the site over. So if anyone has any other ideas of things that I could bring up potentially in a meeting to try to convince people that this website should go live sooner rather than later, let me know. Thankfully, most of the people that I'm meeting with, I already know what their concerns are, so I have a good idea of how I want to frame this. There are some new people that I haven't even met yet, so that's going to be kind of an unknown for me as kind of what their concerns are. So let's see. Those are two big things. I've just been pulling over more content, and let's see. I guess let's go back to the home page. So you can see the home page has really like nothing changed from what we had on it before. I did change this a little bit. So you see there's I don't think we had this before, but there's a change in the color as kind of like another indicator of the hierarchy in the menu. I'm sure I'm missing a few other things that happen. Oh, we upgraded to an even newer version of Next, and that helped the problem that we worked to solve on a few days ago. That helped to fix that problem. So thank you to Harshit for getting on the Next GitHub repo and communicating with the maintainers. All right. So this is going to be the first thing that the people see when I present this. What I'm thinking is that I'm going to present the mobile view first. So I'm going to have on a projector my phone, the screen on my phone, to show what this looks like, and then I'm also going to invite them to view it on their phones, which is a little bit of a risk, right? Because maybe they have a really old phone with an old outdated browser, maybe it looks weird. But I think it would be nice to have them actually be able to click around. I'm going to invite them to try to load the current website, the really slow one on their phone, try to click around on that just to get an idea of, just really kind of the difference in the experience. After that, I will show them the desktop version if they want to see it. But I really think that their audience of high school students is way more likely to view this on their phone based on data that I've seen. Unfortunately, in Google Analytics, the lowest age group that it'll show me is 18 to 24-year-olds. That's not really a good group. That's not our target audience. So that's kind of like 18-year-olds are our target audience, but we want 18 and below. So I can't get actual analytics data from our current site for that audience, but regardless, I don't think it'll be disputed that mobile is going to be the primary means. So, assuming this is the first thing people see, one thing, we definitely need an image that fits of the school. We may or may not put that image in today. I don't really want to spend time going through the photos that we have on the stream. I'd rather do some code. So, we will be changing the image, just so you know. These buttons will probably remain the same for now. What we really need to do is scroll through and just make sure we got to put something right here. This first section needs to grab attention. So that's my big thing. Further down the page becomes less and less important. But probably anything like from here up, we need to put something special in those sections. Not only for the end user, which will be the prospective students, but for the meetings, we need to grab the attention. So I'm thinking, something like this with a nice impressive quote is fine. Potentially a video I think would be good, but I know that some of the people that are going to be in these meetings are going to want to see a student profile. So since we already brought in the student profile data, well, I already brought it in earlier today, I think that's what we should do, is really try to make a card or a section that highlights current students. And I don't know, I guess maybe they found that the prospective students really like to see stories of current students, so for whatever reason, that's what we're going to show them. So that's what we're going to work on first. We're going to try to design and then develop as a React component some element which will showcase on a mobile screen an image, a name, and then a little bit of information about a student. And we'll provide a link to a page that has more information, maybe even a video. So we have some things that we could work from right now. Like, we were going to use this. This doesn't look good on a mobile. So let's start out, maybe we'll start from here. At least we'll have something. And then let's see how we can switch this around to make it look better. So now that I think about it, I don't want to use this first. This looks better on desktop, but I think something like this would work better on a mobile view. Alright, let's start with that. Let me read through the live chat really quickly, since I know it seems like there's a lot in the live chat already. Hey everyone. Okay, I do have some good advice for the meetings here. John Hansen says you have to push the ease, speed, oohs, and ahs. Don't go for the power under the hood tech talk. That's good advice. Definitely. I'm gonna really try to remember that, to not talk technology. Probably the only thing I'll get into that is just simply there's going to be reliability and there's going to be no downtime when we update. I don't really need to get into why unless somebody asks. Let's see. Juggernaut says speed is key. 47% of customers expect a website to load in 2 seconds or less. 40% of customers will abandon a website that takes more than 3 seconds to load. That's awesome. Those are the kind of statistics that I really want to lead with. Juggernaut says every second that customers have to wait longer than 3 seconds reduces their satisfaction by 16%. 79% of customers who are dissatisfied with website performance are less likely to repeat the purchase. 44% of online shoppers tell friends and family about a bad online shopping experience. Cool. Juggernaut, if you have a source for this, like a link or something, please send that to me, because I want to use some of these statistics, but in case somebody says, where are you getting this info, I'd like to be able to point them somewhere. So if you do have that, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll probably spend some time looking up sources myself just to have it ready. All right, let's start this timer. Let's start doing some code. Well, some design slash code here. We're gonna kind of mix them together. All right, so we're gonna be on our index.html component. Let me start ngrok so you all can. Oh, is it already started? I guess I never shut off ngrok. It's been on for days. Wow. Not that anybody's really been on it. Okay, so try this link for ngrok. Let me know if it doesn't work. I assume it's still going to work, but I don't know that I've ever kept it on this long. Looks like it's working. Awesome. Okay. Where's our index page? Let's make this a lot bigger. Okay. So for right now, we're going to do everything in the index page. We're obviously going to break this out into its own component at some point. Well, let's go down and find a card. Make some photos. Let's see which one this one's. Alright, it should be the second card that we have here. There we are. Okay, so let's just work with this card and start to change it since we already have it here. What I'd like to do is grab, let's check out a student, let's check out that student page that I showed you at the beginning. So let's open a new tab, localhost, there we go. Student profiles. Let's look at Noah Fisher. I've never met Noah Fisher. Don't really know who Noah is, but let's take Noah's stuff here. So let's just get. This is just a demo, so I'm not going to actually pull in real data yet. It doesn't make sense for this point, which is really kind of like more of a design stage. But I do want to grab the image URL. Okay, and we are getting, right now I'm pulling the images from the current database. So that's all going to change at some point. For now, it'll be okay. So let's change this image to this, first of all. Let's change the name. We need a title, right? Yeah, we're going to need the title, which would be the student's name. Yeah, we can see right away, does this image work? Right, I don't care about the larger screen for now. Okay, that image actually works for a card like this. Great. Okay, so there's the image. I think Material UI has a title component built in. Let's grab that component. I know I have Material UI open somewhere on my screen. There it is. So we're using Material UI's beta version. If anyone wants to check out the docs as well, it's material-ui-next.com. Make this a little bigger for everyone. Also, I'm going to try and make this stream like kind of a shorter stream because I forgot to eat. Forgot to eat lunch before the stream. I was just working and like on a roll, and so I know I'm going to be getting super hungry soon. I've been waking up really early, so like 9 a.m. is like lunchtime for me now. So I'm definitely past that time. Alright, where's our card? Here it is. Alright, so let's check out, oops, yeah, I want the demo. So let's look, okay, this is kind of what I'm looking for, a card that looks more like this. Let's just check out a few other examples. Yeah, I think this one is the best fit for us here. So let's see what else we're using. Typography, headline. Alright, so there's not really a special component. They're just using typography headline. Okay, that works fine. Let's just grab all of this inside here and copy it over. Just so you know, in case you haven't watched before, I am definitely going to get to all your questions in the live chat as soon as this Pomodoro session is over. So if you are asking questions and I'm not answering back, please be patient, and I will answer all the questions in about 20 minutes or so. Card actions. Okay. Let's save that. See if we get the auto formatting. What? You're not going to auto format for me? I was pretty sure I had it all set up. I guess not. You know what? I don't think I copied everything. Did I? Card content, actions, content. Alright. The indentation just came over really weird. I'm going to leave it alone for now. Let's change this to be the name. Noah. How you spell his last name? So like F-I-S-H-E-R. Okay. Noah Fisher. And let's grab a little bit of the content that's here. You know what? Let me grab some of the content that actually came through from the content management system. So when I pulled this in from the database, it had it already had some, like an excerpt basically already there. Looks like the excerpt has the name in it as well. I don't like that. We may have to manually go in and change this, but I'm gonna grab what was in that excerpt out of WordPress that's on my other screen, and let's paste that into here just for testing. We can worry about how we get that data in there later. I really think after looking at some of this data, I'm definitely going to have somebody go through it manually and make some changes. There's just not going to be any way around it. There's some things that I just can't work with. Alright, tap our create a P. Great. And then for our buttons, we're going to make, let's go learn more. Yeah, let's just leave a learn more button in there for now. Alright, let's see what we have. Yeah, you know what? I really don't like that this is showing up like that. I want this to be more... Everything else I kind of really like about that. Headline, H2. Why is this... Let's check out why this H2 is looking like really not like an H2 at all. Alright, color, font size. Why? Did we change? I'm wondering if we changed something earlier. I don't remember this. I don't remember changing the size of this. Yeah, let's see what it's supposed to be in Material UI. What it's supposed to look like. Yeah, it's supposed to look like this. Something's up. I suspect maybe I just changed something. So let's check out our code. Let me look at the live chat as well to see if you all caught the error. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything about it in there right now. check up here. Classes. Yeah, I don't really see anything here that would be causing that. The only place I'm even messing with font size is here, but I don't think that would do anything there. Alright, well maybe I'll just switch this up. Let's just try some different H values. See what changes, if anything. Looks like nothing. Wow. So an H1 ends up with the same value? Let's see. Sorry, I'm just checking the live chat quickly. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with this. We could certainly just put some inline styles in here to override this, I suppose. Rather not do that if I don't have to. Let's see what we've done here. Headline. Alright, yeah, let's check out the code for this next one down. Typography type, headline, component. That's exactly what we wanted to do, right? Variant type headline. Alright, this says variant headline. Let's go with type. I'm not sure what the deal is with the variant. So if we switch it to type though, maybe that'll work. There we are. That's interesting. So yeah, it does say variant headline here. That's weird. Unless it's possible that this changed in a very new version of Material UI and we haven't upgraded it yet. I mean, maybe we need to upgrade and then change that. We'll see. I'm not interested in doing that right now, though. Alright, so let's see what you all think then. So, I don't know. This doesn't seem very eye-catching to me right now. I'm gonna get on the ngrok server on my phone so that I can see what it looks like on a real device. Let's see. I'm going to send it to myself on Slack. Okay, actually, that looks a lot better on a real phone. All right, so here's what, if you all can look at this on your mobile devices, I think that would actually be helpful. There's definitely a much different feel looking at this on a phone than I'm getting from here. So I think it's a better way to do it. Really happy for ngrok right now. Although I know you can do this through DevTools as well, but Juggernaut says, "Good luck, Jesse. Thanks for the streams." Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for all your advice you put in there. Let me check my time. All right, we're good. 8 minutes. In about 8 minutes, I'm gonna go back to the live chat and answer questions. So if you could just hang in for a little bit longer, I'll get to them. So here's a few things that I'm noticing. This text here could definitely be smaller. It's kind of overkill being this large. So we should definitely decrease the size of that text, at least for mobile. And then for this, do you all think it would be helpful to have some sort of indicator that this is a student profile? Right now, it's just someone's name. We don't really know anything about who this person is. We have to read this to get some sense. And even then, this could be like an alumni profile. We don't really know. So, let's think. I don't want to add too much onto here. Maybe... yeah, maybe we can add something, maybe right at the top here, maybe like student profile in small font, all caps though, in a different color. So I'm thinking maybe something like we did for CIs, Catechetical Institutes, their resource cards. So if you all can see that, how we have, obviously this is the text we want people to see, but you can see here in a different color, just like I said, all caps, it tells us what it is, what category that is. Let me know what you think about it. I'm going to try to implement this then. Unfortunately, I can't just take what we did here because we used a different system for this, a different UI system. We use Materialize CSS. It would be kind of nice if I could just copy it over. We did use it in our Bulletin project. Let's go to GitHub. The React version of the Bulletin, I believe, did the same thing. So let's check it out. It should be under Components and Attachments, Loader, Post Preview. I think that's it. So the Post Preview, the Card View. Yeah, here's our card view. And what did we do? We are using Material UI here. Typography caption. Okay. So we use typography caption. And we did have some styles. We'll pull over the styles as well. But see, this is the benefit. I think I've talked about this before, but the benefit of trying to use a system and stick with a system is stuff like this. To where we have these use cases that are similar enough that we can just go back to a previous project, pull the code, and really get a jump start on what we're doing. Alright, so we're going to copy this first, and then I'll bring the styles over. Oops, wrong way. So right here, and we're going to change this for now. We're going to say student profile, and then we're going to pull over this category color class. We'll probably change the name of it once we pull it over. I know category actually works here. That makes sense. Where are we at? Category color. I wonder where any of the other stuff is coming from. So it seems like we're doing some other stuff too. Category color. Oh, we were doing category to uppercase. We can definitely change that with CSS. All right, so we'll change it a little bit. Let's see. Oops, keep going the wrong way. All right, so let's change this to category, and then up here we'll add it in as category. We're obviously going to change the color. We'll keep it like this for now though, and then let's go what is it, text? Is it text transform? Let's check this out. I can't remember what the right value is. We'll see if this works. Yeah, that worked. Okay, cool. So it is text transform uppercase. So here we go. We have it here. Let me check on a phone before I mess with the size. Even on my phone, it's still a little small. So I don't want it to be too large, but that's definitely too small. So let's increase the font size slightly. See what we're working with right now in terms of font size. Computed 12 pixels. Yeah, 12 is no good. Let's make it at least 14. You know, I really don't like going much lower than like 18 or 16. Let's just change it right here and see. Let's see about 16 pixels. See what that does. That's too big. We're going to have to go to 14. The only other option is if we made this title a bit bigger, but I really don't want to. Alright, so let's try 14 as the font size and see how that looks on a phone as well. Obviously, it doesn't come through in DevTools, so we'll have to add it to the code and save that to see what it looks like. Font size, and oops, forgot a comma, and what do we say, 14? Yeah. And I definitely, yeah, I think I want a different color as well. Student profile. Let me refresh. Okay. So that should be coming through now on my phone too. Did that do anything? Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. Alright, I think that's not bad. I don't know how many of you can see it on your phone as well, but I like that. I like that. I think the font for the body of it could be a little bit better, and then we could potentially put this in quotes so that it's more obvious that this is Noah Fisher talking. Okay. All right, so my timer went off. Let's take a short 5-minute break. I'm going to go to the live chat, answer any questions that you all have. So I'm going to scroll up and start up near the top. So the older questions first. All right, I see there was some advice for kind of that circle view that I had. So I don't think we're going to go with that. Not that we won't use it somewhere else, but just for this particular case, I think I'm going to go with this. On a desktop view, I may actually go with that circle view that we had. So I'm talking about this. I think it works a lot better when it's larger. So we may use that. Oh, Niki's asking about the HTTP sites being marked as unsafe. So Google announced that Chrome is going to start marking sites unsafe that have HTTP instead of HTTPS. So Niki's asking, does that mean that images also have to be HTTPS, like everything? I believe so. So right now, I think what happens is if you're loading insecure assets onto a site that's supposed to be HTTPS, it won't display like the full HTTPS. There'll be some sort of warning icon for that. So, well, it looks like John Hansen already answered, but yeah, you need to make sure all your assets are HTTPS. Blake asks if anyone's checked out ReactQL. You know what? I read a little bit about it, but I haven't tried it yet. Probably for this project, since we're so far along, I'm going to stick with Apollo for the GraphQL stuff, but I'm open to trying it out on other projects. Quantisha asks if this is React. Yeah, definitely. We're using React right now. So we're doing more of like the design stuff, so we're not getting heavily into React components, but we are working in React components. So, you know, this is inside a React component. We're using, you know, styles as a JavaScript object, which is one way to do styles in React. So potentially this may be helpful if you're learning React. Let's see. All right, Juggernaut's saying, I don't know what technology your university uses now, but adopting to open standards will allow university to share data between services and systems more easily, avoid getting locked into a specific piece of technology or supplier, reuse software components built by others, including open source components, reduce overall cost of your digital service, change your services design over time more easily. Yeah, okay, so that's definitely the reason. One of the reasons behind the switch is exactly that. I don't want us to get locked in like we're currently have been locked into a system. We're moving everything to open source stuff, and we're trying to use things that like Material UI is open source. We're using React, which is used everywhere. Our content management system is WordPress, but since we're pulling the data in with GraphQL, we could grab data from wherever. We're not really locked into that. Olsa says, looks good on the phone, checking on an S8. Awesome. All right, Nikki says, rename the type property to variant in Material UI update beta 32. Okay. So Nikki was confirming that it is in the latest version of Material UI, they did change that type property to variant. So where we were, I had, this wasn't working for us. That's because I copied this from the latest documentation, and type is now variant. So whenever we do update to that, we'll just have to keep that in mind and go through and change every instance of type to variant, assuming that there's no backwards compatibility built in. Also says maybe below the name as well. Yeah, we could do it below the name. We should maybe think about that right now. Do you all think it would be better to have student profile above or below the name? Right now, I kind of would rather have it above the name. But if enough of you disagree, I can try to put it below. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. Just to try it out. Let's see. I'm almost to the bottom of the live chat, so I'm going to glance quickly to see if there's anything I should address right now. Okay, it looks like Yoshino's. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please let me know. But Yoshino's says above the name looks nice, to be honest. Awesome. I think we'll probably just stick with that. All right, one last question before we start. Rosen, please let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Says, what's the best IDE? I use Atom and Sublime. Is that, meaning Visual Studio Code, better than these? I use Atom and Visual Studio Code. I like them both. Visual Studio Code does seem to be a little bit faster, but if you have a good computer, it really doesn't make a difference. I have not used Sublime, but I've heard it's good. Juggernaut also did add adopting open standards in modern tech will also attract future students. Exactly, Juggernaut. That's you definitely get like exactly what like I've been trying to do here gradually, over the last 2 years. That's kind of been my trying to just update and move things forward, and this is kind of like the pinnacle of that, and finally getting the main website off of this old stuff. So hopefully I can convince everyone that I need to convince that is the way to go, and we can get this up and running soon. Someone in a meeting like that I wasn't in threw out a date of June 1st, I think, of June 1st. There's no way we need till June 1st to finish this site, and I'm afraid if we did take till June 1st, then everybody in the university would want to have their say in how things go, and we would just get swamped with all these competing ideas, which I'm all for collaboration on that, but sometimes you can have too many people putting their input in, and then we'd end up with a very cluttered kind of mess of a site, and that's not what we want. All right, let's go start our Pomodoro clock. And all right, let's see. Okay, I did want to try to make this, see how big we can make this while it still looks reasonable, and we want to decrease and see how small we can make this that it would still stand out. All right, so let's check, inspect this right now, and I want to see what they have. 14. I'd really rather that be 16 pixels. So let's see what 16 looks like on here first. Oh yeah, for sure. This, I think 16 looks a lot better. Let's try putting this in, and then on the phone. Let's see. So component P. I'm trying to think how I can do this. What the best way to do this would be. For now, I'm just going to do it like this, and this will show a different way to do styles in React. STY. And let's go with font size. Oops, I did not need this font size. Yeah, 16, right? 16 pixels. Okay, so if you want to do inline styles, what? Did I mess that up? It's possible that I just messed that up. I think it was just a style thing. Okay, so you can do inline styles like this. You need to use curly brackets to drop into JavaScript mode, and then more curly brackets to make this a JavaScript object. Then, just like we did up at the top, we're putting styles in a JavaScript object. So we use camel case for our keys, and then our values. For the most part, you want to put your values in quotes. If it's just simply a numerical value with no units, you don't have to put it in quotes. All right, let's see how that looks. Great, and that is coming through like this. I don't know that I would want to leave this. Probably what I want to do is maybe find some solution where every component that has P here with a typography component would then automatically be minimum of 16 pixels. I don't really want to figure out how to do that right now with Material UI, but that's probably a better solution that would just take place across the board. Let's see. Oh, I want to look at it on a phone. That's what I was missing. I knew there was one more step. Oh yeah, that is. I don't know if you all can see that on your phones. If you can, that's just so much more readable. I like that. I really like that. I want to see what it looks like in those quotes as well. So let's do it like that. I wonder. For a second, I thought, what if we do Blockquote, right? What about, how would that look? Maybe we can take a look at that. Yeah, the quotes are okay. I'm looking at it on my phone. Let me go over. Maybe there is some other way to format this that might look nicer. But for now, this I think is acceptable. Let's adjust the font size here. So let's go with maybe 20 pixels. Whoa, way too small. All right, let's see. $30 is actually not that bad. Yeah, let's see what I'm using here for this. Typography display 2. Yeah, let's just try to go with a different type here. Display 3 maybe? I'm not sure if there is a display 3, but we'll try it out. Well, let's take this off too. Whoa, display 3. Still too big. Display 4? Oh, okay. As you go up, it gets bigger. Let's try display 1. I was thinking they were like H tags. Oh, okay. Alright, display 1 is much more reasonable. Let's just go with that. We'll set it to display 1. Let's check it. All these different display values, they're built into Material UI. So if you're not familiar with that, that's what we're doing. Yeah, that's much more reasonable. And that reduces the amount of scrolling significantly. Great. That's wonderful. Cool. All right. Now let's go. We're going to try. Nikki says +1 for trying Blockquote. Okay, let's do that for sure. Let's try Blockquote. I want to see. I'm assuming that there's a Blockquote. No. Alright, let's go to that typography component. We can go to the API and check out the props. Here we are. Display 4, 3, 2, 1, headline, title, subheading, body 1, body 2, caption, button. Alright, maybe they don't have. Alright, so based on my 3 seconds I spent searching, it doesn't look like there's a Blockquote component or option here. So let's just use the Blockquote element, straight up, just the HTML element, and see how that looks. Where are we at? Okay. So what I'm going to do is copy this, and let's just put it over here. This is kind of just my place, just throw stuff if I want to save it for later. And I keep forgetting to implement the search. That's what this is up here. Maybe we'll do that on Monday. I think it would be cool to have the search function available, because that's the search works as you're typing. You automatically get results, and that seems to impress people. So I'd like to have the search function working as well for our demos. Alright, so let's take this and say Blockquote. Blockquote. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, so when we make that a Blockquote, yeah, I don't think that really adds much. It seems maybe like Material UI doesn't have a Blockquote kind of built in. Let's see what Rook's saying. Rook says just give it a left border that's light gray, I guess. Before it was better. Okay, yeah, let's switch it back. Actually, I don't need to copy that over. Oops. We'll switch it back, and then maybe we could let's add that border. So let me see which. Alright, yeah, let's grab that P. Let's do a border left, and we'll go 2 pixels. 2 pixels might be too small. We might have to go to 3. But we'll go 2 pixels solid, and let's go RGBA 0, 0, 0, and then we'll go 0.54, and that should give us a nice gray. Yeah, it's too thin and the gray seems too dark. So let's bump this down and go maybe 14, 24. Alright, 24, and then let's jump up. I think 4 pixels might be better. Yeah, I like 4 pixels. And then let's give it some padding. Padding left of 8 pixels. Wonderful. Alright, what do y'all think of that? So, yeah, so we've given a 4 pixel border with an 8 pixel padding. The padding goes between the border and the content. If we went margin, it would be on this side, so that's why we went with padding instead. let me put that in the code, and then you all can see that on your screens or on your phones. Let's make this a class now. So let's make a Blockquote class. And class name, classes. Let's just call it quote. I don't want to confuse it with the element block quote, so we're just going to call it quote. We can take this out of here because we'll add this in as part of the quote class. Quotes, and we'll just paste that in, and then we'll change it up. Font size 16 pixels. And we need to camel case everything and put the proper quotation marks, get rid of the semicolons, and now this should work. Let's go back here, and great, looks good. Refresh, great. Alright, there we are. I'm going to check this out on my phone. Nikki, that was a great idea. I think that adds something. That looks nice. It's just a little thing, but I don't know, that makes a difference. Let me know what you all think. I don't want things to be too busy, but really, I mean, this is really kind of a clean, minimalist site. So I'm not worried yet that it's getting busy, but I like it. I'm open to other opinions, though. Let's see. Looks like so far everyone likes it. Awesome. Nikki, again, great idea on that. Cool. Alright, cool. And I did go with that RG. Oops. I just realized I had my phone right next to the mic, so I'm sorry if there was any distortion in the audio. That sometimes happens when I have my phone too close. Anyway, I just want to say I go with that RGBA because, especially when I'm trying to do black, I usually don't use it for other colors very often, but for black, it's so nice to be able to just, on a scale of 0 to 1, being able to adjust make different shades of gray, essentially, by adjusting that is just really nice. And then, there are certain values that I use consistently. So, like, usually for gray text, for all text, I don't use regular black. I use, 0.87. And then for text that I'm using in a form, like the little hint text you put in there, in like a form element, like an input, I use 0.54. So those values are always consistent throughout all the sites that I do for the university. So there's some consistency. And then, for little elements like that, obviously we adjust, but for at least for the font, it's very consistent. All right, great. The only thing we didn't really do anything about was this, learn more. But you know what? I like that it's coming up with the university green already, which I think is fine. That looks good. And so I'm okay with that. Alright, let me check my timer. Alright, about 8 minutes. So at this point, what would be nice to do would be to pull this out into its own component, potentially add in some options, right? So we would want to have the option to change this type here, this category, right? So that we could use it with multiple things. So maybe we want to use this as a faculty profile or an alumni profile. This component could definitely work for all of those. We could also have options potentially for more buttons. And we definitely want this button to be a link as well. So we want this, we wouldn't leave it just like this. We would want to put a link component in here. Yeah, for sure those would be options. And then we could just fill in the data, as we pull it in from WordPress. We had another suggestion to try out. Okay, so Nikki says maybe we can remove the quotes, and Amit says we could try italic. Let's try it out, right? I don't think I have time to really take on a whole nother component before my timer runs out, but we do have some time to try out some of these ideas. What do you all think about the idea to take out the quotation marks? Would it still be obvious that this is a quote if we take them out now that we have this? Let me know what you all think, because I'm definitely open to taking them out. I don't think they really look that great. We could maybe add something a little bit more stylish, like an icon to denote a quote. I'm thinking maybe a larger quotation mark. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want this to get too busy. Alright, let's try, what is it for italics? Is it text decoration? Dotted blank initial. No, it's not, is it? Maybe. Alright, John says take out the quotes. Yoshino says italics might fit and make the marks look better. Oh, if we do keep the quotes. Oh, font style. I'm sorry, Amit, you typed it right there. I don't know what I was thinking. Font style. Alright. Oh, let's check that out. Sorry, let me get this down to one. There we are. Alright, what do you all think? Oops, I didn't put it in there. Let me put it in so I can see it and we can all see it on our devices. So class quote. Alright, I'm going to give you all a chance to look at it and let me know what you think before I say what I think about it. Alright, I want to check quickly about italic. I wonder what's the is there anything within material design that designates when italics should be used? I don't remember seeing anything in the documentation. I'm scrolling through the typography section right now. I'm not seeing anything. Alright, so here's my impression. I think it looks nice. It makes it even more obvious that it's a quote, but it makes it less readable. So I think we have a trade-off here. Do we want to sacrifice some readability, or have it look, I don't know. I'm a little bit, I'm torn between this. Let's do this. Let me check my time. Oops. Alright, we only have a minute left. Let's go down here. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to remove italic from here, and I just added it inline, so we should be able to see both versions. Did it not work? I did something wrong. Oops, I put it on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, now we should be able to see them together and on different devices. I can't decide. I'm going to leave both of them. My timer just went up, so I'm going to leave both of them on for now. And I think I'll probably even commit these to GitHub like that as well. We can worry about refactoring into another component sometime, some other time, or if anybody really wants to make a pull request, doing that, then that would be great as well. But maybe I'll show my boss or show it to some people around here too and get their input. Sorry about the yawning. Okay, I'm going to go back to the live chat, go through and finish up with any questions that I missed from the last break, and then I'll wrap things up here. Anhil says, why not work with pixels and why work with pixels and not percentage? It would be better for responsive. Actually, yeah, I would like to have the responsive text. So basically what I want is a minimum that the text will never go below, which is going to be like 16 pixels. And then it could get larger from there. So I'm open to doing that. I mean, for now, it's just was easier for me to use pixels. And I mean, I pretty much think in pixels. I'm used to using pixels, so I know in my head, like, here's how this will look. With the other units that I could potentially use, I just can't see in my head what that's going to look like. So when I'm doing things like this, I'm always in pixels, but I'm open to doing other things, when it's time to actually, make the final version of this. Olsa says, what if you put the name below the text on the right side and remove the italic text? Alright, so it would look more like the citation for the quote. I'll think about that. I'm not going to try it right now because, I'm out of time. My timer ran up, but I'll keep that in mind as an alternative. What I'll probably do is show these to my boss too, and if it looks like he's not that excited about this design, I'll bring that up as an alternative too. Okay. Alright, I see you all were talking more about putting it below. Yeah, I'll think about that. Let me think. Yeah, I'm wondering, just from like a marketing standpoint, if you put the quote with a small name below it, then the quote itself is highlighted and the name is in a secondary place. If you put the name at the top with the quote underneath, then the name is higher up. I think, like, if we want the student to identify with, hey, this is another student, like a real person, to say student profile and then a name makes that immediate connection, and then they could read more. If we want them just, though, to connect more with what the student is saying and just know, like, hey, this is a student, then the other way around would work better. I'll have to think about that. Because, I mean, I could see if the quote was really good or profound, you would definitely want to highlight the quote. I don't know that that's necessarily the case with all these quotes. Maybe. Also, the quote is kind of, like, large. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. I do agree that putting the name below would definitely make it more evident right away that it is a quote. This would be a really good thing to do for A/B testing. Like, potentially have multiple versions of the home page where we have one with this style and another card with the style with the name below. And then we measure how many people click on that Learn More button. Ooh, Amit says with the name below, it would make it like a testimonial. Actually, you're right. Really, what we're doing here is a testimonial. Maybe we should look at some common design patterns for testimonials and see if we can get some ideas. This is it. Like, we could spend so much time on this one component, really. At some point, I have to make a decision and say, okay, we have to move on. Sean's saying more graphical quotation marks. Yeah, I think that could be a good idea. All right. I'm going to think about these ideas. If anybody would like to mess with this component and, just to try some things out, feel free. If you do want to make a pull request for something like this, I suggest not removing these, but just adding another one. Like, add a third one with the alternate design so that we could compare, one after another. I'm also going to have to think about, given the limited time I have before I have to present this, is it worth it for me to worry about this? Like, longer term, yeah, for sure, I think so. And I think it might be worth it to do the A/B testing. But before my presentation, would it be worth it for me to worry about this? I don't know that I have time. So I guess I'm going to leave it at that point for now. But I really do appreciate all the input, because I don't think I would have thought about those things on my own. Okay. Yeah, and this is going to be really prominent. I think this type of component will be prominent. It will be important. I definitely want to measure clicks on this. This is a really good candidate for A/B testing. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that. I think at some point, probably not before I do the presentation, but potentially before or like shortly after we launch, I think I want to do another version of this, taking into account your suggestions, and then test the impact. That's really the only way to know which one is really going to resonate with prospective students more. All right, cool. Let me commit this right now so I don't forget. And then you all can have access to everything that we've done in the repo. So let's do a git status, see what we've done. Great. That's exactly what we modified, so no surprises there. We'll do a git add. And then we'll do a yarn CM. This is something like custom that we have on this project, that it walks you through the pattern of making a good commit message. So it's going to ask us what this is, a new feature. Yeah, this is a new feature. Let's see, create component for student profile card. Great. Actually, that's kind of misleading. I'm going to leave it there, but we didn't really make a separate component because we didn't pull it out yet into its own file, but I'm not going to go back and change it right now. Alright, we did not break anything, and we didn't have any issues open. So all our tests are going to run, our linting is going to run. Oh no, what did we do? HTML entities must be escaped. Where is this at? Oh, it doesn't like the quotes? Alright, let's just take the quotes out for now then. I'm okay with that. Well, I can change my message now. Alright. Create student profile card. Alright, that's more accurate because we didn't turn into a component just yet. There we go. Should pass this time. Looks like Nikki wasn't a fan of the quotation marks anyway, so now they're gone. Noble and Savage says, forget what? Hi, Jesse, 'tis Savage Banana Soup. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Alright, cool. Let's do git push origin. Oh, between last stream and now, I also did merge that Next 5 branch with Master. So after I upgraded it again and checked everything out, everything was working fine. So I thought, okay, let's just merge it back in now. If you see any weird things happening, please let me know. But I think we'll be okay with it for now. Oh, okay. Nikki says you can do yarn CM retry to commit the exact same thing, messages and all. It's better. Yeah. That's really helpful because a few times that's happened to me and I've had to type it in again and it's really frustrating, especially if you get errors like 3 times in a row, which has happened. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to try my best to remember that and use it. So that is helpful. Yeah, in this case, I wanted to change the commit message anyway, but thank you, Nikki. All right, so I think I've gotten through everything. And so I'm going to finish things up here and go get something to eat. Thank you so much for all your help. I think we made a really nice component today. I think it looks great. And then we also have some ideas for some variations on this component as well, which is also awesome. At the very least, it might not be a bad idea to use different variations of the same component on the page at the same time, just to kind of mix it up for people. Yeah, I think that would be good. Now that I think about it, we probably could get some quotes from some more like famous people. Like, since this is a Catholic school, like we could probably get some quotes from some bishops and stuff that might be impressive to prospective students or their parents, and we could use this for that as well. So I could see this component as being very useful for a variety of different pieces of content. All right. Well, it's Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see y'all on Monday.